Okay guys, so today we are continuing on with our Anna Griffin Simply Wildflower Meadow scrapbooking kit, and we have been busy. We only have two more double layouts to do, and then the front and the back page. I believe these were 13 and 14. I keep forgetting, so let's just go back and look. Again, front page will be later, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5 and 6. You guys, these look so pretty when they're just out in front of you. 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, which I am still super in love with. And then 13 and 14 is what we just did. So I will link the kit in the description box, possibly the little shopping bag right down here. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you're a purchase items to those links. So what I've been doing recently is just showing you again the pages we had just worked on. I'll tuck them into the scrapbook and I'll be right back. Oh, this next ones are 15 and 16, but look how pretty those are. 15 and 16 kind of are reminiscent of what we just did with 13, 14. I said I was going to copy or take inspo from one of the images that was on the inspo sheet, and I just want you to see how thick this is right now. It'll be just fine. It's going to be a little thicker, obviously, than the spine by the time everything's done, but I was trying to give you guys dimension and depth and cuteness without adding too much, because this will be like just way huge, and that's not a fun way to have a scrapbook in my opinion, or to put it away and all that kind of stuff, right? But today what we're going to do is basically this one. Now I know I already used the paper that I have here. I was like, oh, I have that paper still. Actually I don't, because I cut half an inch off of one of them to use for a different project, so I'm going to use a different background paper. It's probably going to be another blue paper actually. Let me see what we have left. We'll do the little ruffle, yeah, we might do the ruffle. We might just use paper for this band instead of wasting another, even though I do have plenty of borders, but maybe I can double up the border somewhere else. Instead of just putting that border, I was just going to make little strips instead of having that running behind the whole thing, so it's just this area, so you're not wasting anything. But maybe we just cut that from paper, right, instead of cutting into a border and wasting that. So again, for me this will be see, I took a half an inch off of that for another project, so this is going to be my paper that I just can continue cutting into, kind of like maybe it's going to be left over at the end. So what do I have? So since these guys again don't have pairs, they're odd man out, I think these are going to be my front and back cover papers. And so this is what I have left for double layouts if I want them to be exactly the same. I have this guy, the blue on the back, and then this guy with this on the back, which actually might be a good substitute for that, huh? Yeah, let's do that. This is a lot of blue, and I just worked with a lot of blue recently, so I want to break up that with my paper. So we're going to use these. It's pretty easy to just follow along as far as what they layered up. They have matte layers. So let's grab those. And just looking at it, I mean, obviously we can play with the colors, but they have a little guy, which I still have green and blue, and I'm trying to think if I want to change it up to use blue. Let's pretend we're using the green. And then they have another one layered up. Okay, I see. Okay. Do I have any more green left? Oh, I do. Okay, I still have 2 green ones, so we can still do that. And then maybe the accent one on top of this can be the blue. Ooh, that means we only have 2 of these guys left if we use blue here. So something like that. Okay, we got that going. Cute. And then in the background they did a little ruffle. Obviously we have our tag and things, and we can do everything very similar to this. But next thing we're going to work on is our ruffle, because that has to go underneath. So I have all those pieces. Funny enough, I have scraps of the pink paper that they used here. And it's actually the same pattern as this, but pink. So we can probably use this for our ruffles, right? Because I still have some of this. I have a whole strip of like blue if you want to use that. Actually, like I said, this is all that I have left as far as borders. So I do have enough for each layout to have a set of borders, front and back page and everything, But I I'm not going to waste it like that, because maybe later we want to do something like this or something like this, right? We can match it up instead of just having this little bit that's peeking out behind. So I'm going to put that to the side. I still have this guy. Let me see what other little scraps I might have. I don't know that I have any more. I think that's a good color to break it up. I do have the paper that we cut into, which again I can still do other things with. It has this on the back side. I think this is going to be more striking if we use this with this. So we can pretend like this is that piece. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. Let's see what the thickness is on those. I have this one left here. I can kind of measure real quick. Yeah, they're 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is just cut 3/4 of an inch off of here. To be honest, I can probably do it here, but maybe I want strips later of something. So I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch strip right now. This is 12 inches. And then we're just going to use little bits of that. So 3/4 of an inch. And then our little, I'm trying to think if we want to actually do like, how big is this? This is probably like 1.5 inches or so. It is 1 5/8 inches, okay? 1 5/8 inches, which is a weird number, but we probably want a little bit more. So what do we have here? If we want it like 2 inches, so at least a little bit more is sticking out from the top and the bottom. I'm trying to see if I have enough of this paper to do that. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to think how well we're doing this. Maybe that's enough if we do 1 5/8 inches. That way I don't have to waste this. I can use this piece and then get a couple more pieces from here. How big is this? This is 4 1/4, 1 5/8 inches, 1 5/8 inches. That would be 3 inches and a little bit more. It might be okay. This might be enough. Okay, so from here I'm going to cut 1 5/8 inches, just so it's about the same. If 1.5 inches works better, then do that. Maybe make that 1/2 inch, you know. Whatever works for the amount of papers that you have. So we have these 3 scraps. Maybe I'll use this one, but it's a little too skinny. Put that over there. We're going to take this guy and let's see. Let's put these things to the side right now. I thought this video was going to be quick. It might be, it might not be. Okay, let's put this guy, I don't need any of these things. Let's put these all to the side. Why can't I grab anything? I'm trying to be careful with my paper, so I'm like picking at it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright, so let's focus on this one. Let's straighten that out. They're going to be exactly the same, but mirrored, right? So this guy we already know is going to be stuck down right here. This guy's going to peek out from behind here. I mean, literally, it's the smallest amount right here. I probably cut too much of the ruffle. I guess they probably tucked it a little bit more, because I was going to say, I feel like you're seeing at least a good inch, 1.5 inches of that. So it looks like they pushed this one in further. Brought that in a little bit more. Okay. So as far as ruffles go, you guys know I usually do them kind of by hand and I make them wonky, but this one is definitely pleated and looking cute. So let me think in my mind, why did I already lose a scrap of that paper? You see how things happen? I put them over here to the side and now I'm already missing one. There it is. When we score it, you see these pleats in the background, I would say it's like 1 inch, but there's like a 1/4 inch gap, or let's say a little bit less than 1/4 inch, because otherwise it's going to be kind of annoying. Let me think about what I want to do for that, because basically when you have 1 inch space, you're going to want this to come in and go back out, come in and go back out. So you have to kind of accommodate for those numbers. So let me think about how I want to score this so that we can make it look nice, okay? I'll be right back. Let's try to make this quick and easy and not have to do too much math, but basically I just did a sample one and I kind of messed that up right there, but I can see what I need to do. So whatever it is that you have, the first score line should be at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, then at 1 inch, Then I'm doing 1 1/4 from there, because when you fold in at 1/2 inch, you go back 1/2 inch, you want a gap, right? That's how it looks like. She has like a gap. So I did an inch and a quarter. So that means the next score line should be at 2 1/4, right? 1 1/4 inch. The next one's 1/2 inch from there, so 2 3/4. And the next one should be 1 1/4 from there. I did 1/2 inch. I'm like, oh duh, I wanted it to go across before it goes down. So 1 1/4 inch from here would be 4 inches. So let me do one at 4 inches. And I just kind of started making this up on the top of my head, and it worked out pretty well. So 4 inches. So it's going to be like this, right? And then the next one goes back 1/2 inch from there. So 4 1/2. 4 1/2, and then 5, right? At least. So let's go to 4 1/2. This is kind of a big ruffle. Maybe you want to do 1/4 inch back and forth, and maybe 3/4 inch in between. I don't know, but okay. So we have it like this. Go straight across, go back in, go back out. Oh, again, I don't need that one. So 4 1/2, and then the next one should be 1 1/4 inch from there. So I didn't need this one. 4 1/2, 1 1/4 inch is 5 3/4. So 5 3/4. Sorry, guys. We probably don't even need this much because we don't have that much paper anyway from our little pieces. So 5 3/4. It's just the first one that you need the 1/2 inch in between, and then after that you need 1 1/4 and then a half, 1 1/4, then a half, right? And then this one would fold forward and then back. So really that's all it's showing is like that small amount at the beginning. So really maybe a 4 inch strip of piece of this should get you what you need. You guys know it's gonna be really tight on one of them that I think I'm going to make it so that I can barely do what I need, because again I need all of this paper. I don't have another one that has the pink. Actually there, it's all gone. So I need to be very careful with this. I'm trying to see what I need to do. If I do fold it first, fold back, and then just a fake fold. Like I said, I need at least 4 inches, but what is this? Okay guys, sorry, I don't know where I was. And you know what I'm going to do, because these pieces, if I measure them, they are about 4 3/8, and we need about 4 inches to make some of this ruffle. But what I'm thinking is maybe I can fake it too, because you know the only bit that's showing is like this much, and then we can just cut it here. But I'm just going to do my numbers anyway. So I'm going to take this 4 inch strip, we're going to go 1/2 inch, right? 1 inch, 2 1/4. So it's basically at the very beginning 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, a 1/2 inch again. So from 2 1/4 we're going to do 2 3/4. 2 3/4, and then the next one should be at 4 inches, which I can barely do with this guy. Okay, now let's see what we have, because I want to kind of fake these ruffles basically. Right? Okay, that's very good. Okay, because that's all I need is just this part. And I think what I'm going to do is cut this and help me, this piece I'm going to use on the next strip, because I'm going to run out. I only have 3 of these little guys. And I need 4, right? But I don't have enough for 4. So I'm going to have to like try to recycle like this part of this one. So maybe I'm going to cut it like right here. I know this might sound a little persnickety. I'm just showing you how to save your stuff. So I'm going to cut it there. And that's enough ruffle for there. Probably for the other side too. It looks like they all have just like one bit of ruffle. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same numbers here again. To start off, you're going to do 1/2 inch, 1 inch. And then from there, it's going to be every 1 1/4 inch and then a 1/2 inch. So 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 4, 4 1/2, 5 3/4 if you have a longer strip, and then you keep going, and the next one's 1/2 inch, the next one's 1 1/4 inch, next one's 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 inch, right? I'll be back. Start that one, and I want you to see what I did. So you know how that piece I cut off, and you might think like, why are you going to use that? For my last little bit, again, this is individual to everybody. This is what I had, and I started scoring it, and I thought, well, I just cut that piece in half just to have 1 for one, 1 for the other side, and I scored it at the 1/2 inch, the 1 inch, and it ended up being cut like at just over 2 inches. This little piece I cut off of this guy, and if I turn it this way, it's going to help me finish that ruffle, and then the back of that, you know, goes behind my paper. So I'm just going to glue that down, and that's what's going to help me finish that ruffle, because I do not have enough paper to actually finish it. So this one, again, I'll score it 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and the piece that's left over from here, I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to stick it to this side just like that one, and it'll just be a faux ruffle. So I know using scraps and things like that might stress some people out because you might have different scraps than I do, but that's why I said hold on to your scraps. I just want to show you what I meant by putting these together. So I have exactly 2 that are left that look like that I cut off of the full 4-inch one. Remember, I cut one in half, and this guy I'm just going to stick down like this. You don't have to super stick it. You probably don't even have to stick it down, to be honest. You can probably just use the other little guy to help you hold it, but you know, just so it looks a little bit like the other one. So I'm kind of more holding it towards the edge, you know, when I put the glue. How's it going? Like this, right? Okay. So maybe more towards the very edge so that this is a little more free floating. And then grab the other little scrap one, put those together. We're going to flatten it out anyway, but it does look like it's a little more like this one if you don't completely stick it down there, right? Okay, so we have our ruffles, and that's basically going to dictate where I'm putting our little strips. So basically we're going to hold these guys down and put the strip in the center, and I would say right on the edge of one, something like that, right? And then I'm going to cut off the excess. Oh, this one looks cuter like this. The little flower looks like it's up here. And again, you can make that middle strip thinner. I was just trying to eyeball what they did. Actually, it's going to go like this anyway, now that I think about it, because it covers the flower anyway. But also I need this wider. See how this is a little bit wider? That part's going to go under my photo. So we have plenty of this where I can leave a little bit extra to help me kind of put that down. This is all going to get pretty much buried, that last part that doesn't look that great, but we do want there to help us out. So that's what I'm doing. And I'll do the same thing with all of them. We'll just take this one, and this side is going to go tuck under. This is the one that's not perfect, and then this side's going to be over here. So I'll just take that, a little glue. You might have to glue them down even a little bit more, because obviously it depends on how flat you want it. Did I do the same thing again? I did. Oh, you know why? Because I was thinking about this other one. On this side, I want this longer portion to go underneath. So, well, again, because of that, I should do it this way. I'm just trying to put the nice even end there. So silly. What I was trying to say is we might put some glue behind here anyhow, because when we stick it down, we really want it to stick down. But we can decide where we want to do that, because right now it's kind of puffy like that. So you might stick it down. You could also stick down that middle band. I just didn't want that to look flatter. I like it to look a little bit nice, you know. So I'll do the exact same thing with these last 2. Okay, and I will be right back. Finish those 2. I'll put them to the side for our other page. We have this little strip that we will definitely keep just in case. And so we're going to do our little fake stuff here. Basically, I'm going to build this out the way it is there. I think I'm going to put this on dimensionals, and this will also be on dimensionals. It looks like she did this one doubly high, but I would never put one that high in my book, so I'm just going to do the same dimensional. And then this one I'm just going to lay down on here. Now, of course, if you have different types of dimensionals, you can definitely bring them out of your stash and do like some higher and some lower. But I'm just kind of going with what it looks like. I'm sorry, what's in the kit. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me put some dimensionals behind these guys. This one's going to tuck in here a pretty good amount. So I'll avoid that part, but let's get these going. So like for sure down here, and like right here, and then like in here for the larger one, so the other one can tuck back in there. I'll take the carriers off in a minute. And then this guy also needs, you know, however many. It's not that far in, but that's okay. There. Okay, and at the very end, I'm not going to put too much because we're going to put this guy there. So I'm going to put one here and one here. So I'm going to turn this over this ruffle will have a spot to tuck in there. Okay, I'll take the carriers off. I'll be right back. Oh, you know what? I guess same thing for this one. I should move this over a little bit. It doesn't need that much, but just a little something. Okay, so here's our full sheet. I have everything ready here. If we look at this guy, the ruffle's going right down the center. I wasn't going to stick the ruffle down first, but maybe I should. I mean, it looks pretty centered to me, right? Now, this still has a pretty good puff. If I glue it down right there, it's still going to be kind of high like that. And I think I'm going to stick it down a little bit more, guys. I know I don't want to flatten it out completely, but it really needs a little more self-control there on that one. So what I'm going to do is just put a little glue here underneath and a little glue here. Okay, I'll do it to all of them. It's in that inner flap on this side and this side. And just a little bit, so it still looks a little bit more free-flowing, right? I'll do this one, and just know that I'll do all four that way. But let me put a little glue in there, and a little glue right here. I'll be back. So I'll put this to the side. Now this paper is basically the same either way, but, you know, I'm still going to turn it to the side, and line it up over here on the edge of my paper. And I need to bring it down a little bit, so I can use my grid lines. Let's make it nice and straight. And at 6 inches, I'm going to make sure that that nasty part is facing in because I'm going to cover it. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of that guy. And about center, you know, like I said, I think, what do we say this was? Almost 1.5, or it is about 1 5/8, almost 1.5, so almost 3/4 on either side of 6. So 3/4 here, 3/4 here, but not quite. So I'm just going to split the difference of what would be 3/4 either way. It's like the smallest amount right on the edge. It's just in between 3/4 this way and 3/4 this way. Actually, that looks a little too much the other way. Let's see here. 3/4, 3/4. Okay, just a little bit more than 3/4 either way. Duh. If it's 1.5, it'd be 3/4, but it's like 1 5/8. So you have to have a little extra of 3/4 on either side. And then we'll put some glue on this one. I'm telling you, this glue sets up so fast. So if you are afraid of that, I would use something like the diamond press glue, or like maybe some Tombow multi or something like that. Something where it still kind of slides around a little bit for you guys. And then this one, again, the ugly part facing in at 6 inches, a little bit more than 3/4 here, a little bit more than 3/4 on either side. I'm gonna hold that down for a little bit. That's good because I don't want it completely flat, but okay. So I will bring this back, and you can see the little rough edges are both this way. I don't know if I should place this guy first. They're basically centered from here, so like if I cover that guy a little bit, right, it's kind of covering that one, the very edge, so you can see a good amount of the ruffle. And of course I'm just eyeballing. There's that first one, and then this guy I'm going to slide under as well as I can. Oh, you know what I didn't think about? Well, no, that's good. I didn't think about the thickness of this paper, but I guess I did because that looks pretty good. Like right there. Is that crooked at all? I can't really tell. My paper is just like maybe a little more up, a little more down. Again, get your T-square if you like. And that's good. So I can still stick whatever picture I want. I'll just slide it in here, obviously, put the glue, you know, slide it in there. Okay, guys, that is that first page. I think that's pretty good. Obviously, we're going to put a tag. I don't know if I'll put the exact same things that she has, but I can probably find them. Do you guys see one with a little bird like this? That's cute. I don't remember seeing any birds. Am I tripping? That might be from something else. I don't remember seeing a bird. That's really cute, though. Okay, so there's that one. And I'll do the same with this one. And this time I can line up my ruffles with this if I wanted instead of measuring. So I'll bring this over, face the rough cut in. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to make sure these guys are lined up. And put this guy right on the edge. Like that. And then I'll turn this one over and line it up with that guy on the other side. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to glue this guy down on this side. Okay, I'll be back. Two pages, sorry, are exactly the same, just mirrored. I think the ruffle came out really cute with our little faux ruffle, and no one knows it didn't go all the way from the back from one side to the other, and it looks really, really cute. I will say, I just noticed like she has Celebrate, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna put Celebrate there and I'm gonna put the sticker, but then she has another one over here that says Friends, and it's kind of popped up on the journaling card and also on the frame. And, you know, it's really sticky on the back. Now, you can definitely powder it, like put something like I mentioned before. I don't really want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is just have maybe the Celebrate up here, if that's the one I want to go with, which I probably will. And then the tag. And maybe another tag here, but maybe not. You know, I might not even do that. Or maybe put the Celebrate. No, yeah, I like the way that looks really full there. I was going to say maybe just nothing here and some more flowers. And maybe I will use 2 journaling tags. I don't know. Maybe there's more to say, you know, but that's okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll put 2 tags since we have plenty of them and I've never done it before. And that way maybe I have some birthday party here and some other one over here, you know. So it might be a mixture of things. So let's get our journaling tags. Unfortunately for me, I'm going to stick this down in a way that I can kind of pop it out. And hopefully the stickers I put around it aren't going to like trap it. I don't have to use exactly the same color they're using, but they are using the green and the pink. A green one and a pink one. They're using pink, if you guys remember. So let's do a green one and a blue one. You know. Also, you know, I'm not paying attention to exactly how they did their spacing, so mine might be a little tighter. But let's put that one there and that one there. And so let's work on this page. And the other page is going to be basically the same, but in the bottom corner or bottom area. Again, it looks like this is popped up, and I'm going to stick it down in a way that I can pop it out very easily later because I need to be able to journal on this. So I'm just going to kind of move my little tag over, or the carrier, a little bit further like this, and it's just about here. Now I'm not going to stick that quite yet because what I wanted to do is go ahead and get the word Celebrate, because I think, I don't know, let's see, which I've already used earlier. Oh, look, I'm missing. I have one little bit I can still use there. Let's do Celebrate again. I'm going to pull this off of here and take out the negatives like I've been doing. I'll be right back. Yeah, she might want to Celebrate because it matches, like she did Celebrate Friends, so it's like the pink and the green that this had, and I don't have any pink on there yet, but that's okay. I'm going to put this on here. Obviously, all coordinates anyway, but I'm just eyeballing this. And before I really stick it, I'm just making sure it's pretty straight at the top, right? That's what I'm paying attention to. Okay, so what I'm going to do is dig in and find most of these things. I'm not going to try to make a huge cluster that's really high. So for sure, hopefully I have still one of those. That guy, I think I still have one. I think I still have a butterfly. Again, I don't remember seeing a little bird in here, but you know, we'll see. I can see that she has a couple gold things back there. So I'm going to dig through and try to find those same flowers. realized this page is very Morning Glory, or whatever you want to call this flower, heavy. And actually, I still have quite a few left, but it really needs 6. It needs 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 3, and then on the other side another 3. So that's 6 of them, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in my hands. I don't know that I see any more, so I'm going to switch out some of them for a different flower, right? But if I had noticed that at the beginning and I was really dead set on making this page exactly, I would have put them aside. Oh, I mean, there's 3. I didn't really dig through to find any more because I figured if I use them all here, then I still need a couple for the other side. And like I said, the other side needs 3 also. So let's leave 2 and 2, and then I have 1 for the rest of my kit. Yeah, at the beginning I was using them a lot because they're very easy to work with. So I'm just going to put these here, and I just substituted that. It's just another one that kind of frames it out, you know, if you see the way that's done here. Okay, so it kind of goes from here to over here. Again, I'm not going to stick these down quite yet. Where did this guy go? Okay, so this came out from underneath the lettering, so I can try to pick that up. Like I said, these are very sticky, but at the beginning you can still have some time. See, I'm not going to quite stick that down, you know, because I'll put like a dimensional back here. Actually, I can do it right now. So I don't want to bore you guys, but basically the rest of this is just sticking things down. So I'm going to look at her example and try to really get that going. That hasn't trapped this, because again, I need to pick that up later. And over here, I'm just going to put one little sticky guy right here. Oh, this can be cut away. That looks much nicer. And I'm going to stick that down later once I actually stick down my journaling card. Let's say it goes there. Okay. Over here she has a little cluster. Okay, here she has a butterfly, and again, it can be dimensional, and why not, just so it pops a little bit more, because right now it's kind of flat. And again, I kind of like to go like this to my butterflies. You might not notice that once it's in the book and gets flattened out more. But it was about here, and that still lets me put my picture in, so that's good. She has a cluster over here that it looks like this gold piece might be in between the 2 layers. I don't know how well I stuck these down. Yeah, I went right to the edge, didn't I? So anyway, you can tuck that under there if you wanted to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple of dimensionals on the back of this guy to support it, and then glue it down on the other edge. And then I'm going to see what she has going on the other side and basically do the same thing, guys. And I think if I walk you through bit by bit, you guys are going to be bored out of your minds. So I'm just going to put this guy, it's about here. Of course it would be, covering up some stuff. You know, I don't like covering things up, like my little ruffle. I'm going to put a little higher so you still see a little more of the ruffle. Okay, and then she has, again, birds that aren't in this kit. So that's a no-no in my opinion, because literally it's really cute. Look at that little guy. Now, I have other kits, and I probably have that bird somewhere else, but, you know, she included it there, and I thought I saw it one more time. Was it on a different, yeah, here. We don't have these birds, guys. Maybe they were originally planning to have the birds, but the birds are not there. At least they're not in my kit. Okay, so from there, she has, like, this guy here, and then this guy is kind of here, and the little bird is on it. Actually, it's the opposite one. If this one has a left and a right, it's the one that's facing the other way. I don't really know if this one has left and right. And I use a lot of this one, too, at the beginning, if you guys recall. Like, I don't even know if I have some for the other side of this page. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I have a couple down here. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to continue sticking things down. You'll see me doing that. took longer than I thought. You know, when you are using a lot of flowers. I was going to say, I wasn't going to use this little, like, what are these called? Like iris, I don't know, kind of guys. But I do have enough to do the layout, so I'm going to lift this up. I just felt like it was extra anyway in here because you're covering a lot of stuff, but it does add more to this particular one, so it kind of covers up some of this. So there we go. I'm just going to add that in. Very close to what she has going on. I hope you see that here. Again, she does have this lifted and then these, so I just kept it flatter. And then, of course, I'll stick this down better once I get my pictures in here. But that is a big cluster of flowers there. And then up here, she had that little mop head kind of, or the hydrangea. It's not really a mop head. Those are usually really full. But I couldn't fit it in there in a way that I thought looked natural. I think it looked cuter when you had the little bird with it. So for now, I just put this guy, and this guy is popped up a little higher than I would like, but there he is. And so then we made that switch out right there, right? So there's that page, and I guess I'm going to just do the same thing on this side, dig out all the flowers I need. You know, this one's not as bad. It's not really bad, but it's just not, I mean, a lot of it is very similar. And actually, I don't have any more of that flourish now. I have some more because I did buy 2 of this pack. I have plenty of flourishes in my stash. So I'm just going to make a substitution and then find all these same kind of things. Oh, there's the other bird. I was like, there's another bird on this page. I'm assuming this is very similar to what's going on here. It's just turned. So I'll basically do the same thing. I don't know if you can notice if it's like exactly the same flowers, just rotated. You know, that one's there, that one's there. Yeah. So I will be back. Basically mirrored this one. I was freaking out because I'm like, I don't have another one of that gold one. This one right here, it's kind of that funky one. It has like a little leaf coming off it, but I'm like, I didn't really use that one. There should be like 4 or 6 of each one. So I finally found one, and then I did find another flourish. There were probably 6 or 8 of those because I've used that one quite a bit, and I found one more, and that's all I needed. And then everything else just kind of worked out, you know. So I'm gonna pop this in here. Copying more of what I did than what she did there, but it's basically right on top, like in here. I was trying to see if I put mine underneath that other little flower. Not really. It was just kind of in here. Something like that. Of course, covering up a bunch of the gold and other things. I think that's what happened. I had put this up here like this. Boop! Just on top of that guy. Okay, that is a wet sticker. I'm not really going to stick it there. When I go to put my picture, I'll just kind of pop that. So, what she did was she just flipped the image. You know, what's going on here. It's reversed, right? So, reversed this way, but then the clusters are like this, which is interesting. I mean, we also could have just done the exact same thing. Cluster here, little cluster here. So, everything else is just kind of flipped and reversed in some areas, but it's pretty, right? It is very pretty. This is a lot more than I've done, but we still have a ton of flowers left, so here we are taking some inspo from what's on there, and that's what I came up with. So hopefully, you know, the ruffle thing didn't confuse too much. Again, to start your ruffle, you're gonna do a 1/2 inch score mark, then a 1 inch, and then from there, or 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch from there, which would be 1 inch, right? So 1/2, 1, and then every 1 1/4 and 1/2 inch from there. So 1 1/4, from the 1 inch, half an inch from that one, 1 1/4, half an inch, 1 1/4, half an inch, right? That's what you're going to do. I mean, if you're making like a longer ruffle, obviously you keep going. With this one, I did about, like I said, 4 inches because that's what I had. And if you've been following along, you can do the same thing and then cut the little scrap off if you need it to complete it. Because honestly, can you even tell that we did any splicing? It's this one. If I look underneath, I can see that it's glued right there. But from the top, obviously it just looks like a cute little ruffle. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I'll have images come up. I'll have links as appropriate and available. And yeah, I will see you all. I'm not going to put another title on this one. It's just going to be the celebrate in that top corner. But I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.